Representative, welcome back to the program here. You've introduced this before. Why do you think there is finally momentum to move this bill this session?
Well, there's a time and a place for everything, and we have been working on this for multiple sessions now, multiple interim study committees. But this last interim, and actually 1 week to the day before the session started, we had a joint committee hearing between the House and the Senate, which I was honored to co-chair with Senator Brian Hughes, where we laid out this topic once again, and this topic being the incredible harms perpetrated on our youth by these social media companies. I still say that these social media products are the most harmful thing that our kids have legal access to in Texas, and we are on the verge of stopping it this session.
The bill would prohibit minors from creating accounts on social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, etc., and require users to verify their ages. And
Yes.
you and I have discussed this before, but how in the world do you enforce it? You're requiring the social media companies to be the enforcers here.
Absolutely. I mean, we put it all on them, and if they don't do it, then there are legal consequences through the Attorney General's office for them not upholding the law in Texas. Look, at the end of the day, here's what we're dealing with, Jason. We're dealing with a 48% rise amongst boys and a 188% rise amongst girls in ER visits because of self-harm. We're talking about a 91% increase in suicide rates for boys and a 167% increase in suicide amongst girls, all correlated to the rise in use of social media amongst young people. This is a dangerous product, and the social media companies themselves continue to refuse to show up and answer for the harms that they are doing to our children in any House committee. They don't show up. They never have, as far as I know. They didn't in the last two interim committees. They certainly didn't when I laid out the bill in the Texas House. They refuse to answer for what they're doing to our kids.
We've also heard discussions about teen athletes as well, Representative, and,
Mhm.
and athletes who use social media to show their videos to coaches and potential colleges, et cetera. Do you think this bill, if it becomes law, would put Texas athletes at a disadvantage?
Look, I've heard that, and that's something I'm very well aware of with my own oldest son, who is in the AAU basketball circuit, and have coaches and folks asking him for his Instagram account, which he doesn't have one. And so, I'm very well aware of that. But what I'll say is there is nothing, absolutely nothing that stops a parent from creating an account for their child to promote their child, to promote their child's business, or to promote their child's athletic skills or anything else, to post videos of their child and to talk to recruiters, on behalf of their children. There is absolutely nothing in this bill that would stop that. All we're doing is saying that young people themselves can't have access to this harmful product.
That's what I wanted to ask you next to make sure I was clear that a parent can create a child account for if they want it for whatever reason.
Absolutely, yeah. They can create an account as long as the user of the account is someone that is 18 or older. And keep in mind, Jason, while we're doing this, this is something that the U.S. Surgeon General just over a year ago stated is a harmful product and likened it to cigarettes in terms of its addictive nature.
Mhm.
So I know that people are so comfortable with social media, they don't think of it in that terms, much like folks, many decades ago thought of cigarettes as not necessarily being harmful. Now we know, and I think now people are waking up, and especially parents are waking up to the harms that social media causes.
If this legislation becomes law, it would be the strictest in the country. Do you expect it to face any legal challenges?
Well, every time that we seem to pass some bill to protect our kids, there's always someone out there wanting to sue the state of Texas to prevent that from happening. I've got experience with that with my Reader Act last time, which is still portions of that bill still hung up in the courts. We're trying to protect kids from explicit content in schools. So yes, absolutely, I expect this to meet legal challenges. Unfortunately, if you want any real meaningful policy done, it takes years of work on the front end of advocating and basically lobbying the legislature to get it through. A lot of hard work during a session to get a bill through, and then a lot of hard work on the back end protecting at the courts.
Yeah, indeed. So, last legislative session was said to be the most conservative ever. How would you describe this one?
This session has really been remarkable. I mean, I think that we have seen a greater partnership between the Speaker of the House, Dustin Burrows, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and Governor Abbott, certainly than any time that I've seen in my four sessions here in the Capitol. It's really been remarkable. We have been able to partner on big issues like the largest funding increase in the history of our state for public schools. We've been able to partner on the largest school choice program ever to be implemented in the country, banning hostile foreign nations from owning Texas land, $51 billion in property tax relief, including nearly doubling the homestead exemption for seniors from
Yeah.
where they don't have to pay any property taxes on the first $200,000 in their home's value for the school taxes. This has been a remarkable session, and it's largely because of the partnership that we've seen between the big three, who meet weekly for breakfast, who are talking daily, and who are working together to accomplish the business of the people of Texas.
Finally, what bills do you think are not going to make it?
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you one that's near and dear to my heart, and that is the ethical pet sales bill. It's kind of made the rounds. I've fought this is another one of those issues that I've fought for several sessions. And I thought we had a good situation this session, and we just didn't get there. But with anything, just like with sports, there's always next season, there's always next
Yeah.
session, and that's something I'm going to continue to fight for every single session until we get that done.
Representative, good to see you again. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.